Okay, Zay. Start with this. How are we feeling?
Good. How are you?
Good. Doing great.
Excellent.
Ankle injury, if you're able to disclose it, when did it pop up for you?
Last week around this time. Actually, I think it was last Wednesday.
You tried to give it a go during pregame warm-ups. What did you guys see when you were out there?
I just wasn't feeling my best. I didn't feel as though I was 100%, and I didn't want to harm the team by trying to go and not being able to be out there. And I think collectively as a staff, we made the decision what was best for the football team, and it kind of just came down to that.
So you had the unique perspective then of like being on the sideline for that game.
Yep.
What did you see when you guys watched the tape back when you're on the sideline? Was it solely the weather that maybe derailed the offense a little bit, or was there other things you saw that maybe you guys can change going into this week?
For me personally, I can't speak for everybody. Weather does play a factor, but I never want to make that my excuse. Just because both teams have to deal with it, and I think it's whoever can make the least amount of mistakes and take care of the football the best. And unfortunately, we as a group, as a team, we didn't get that done. We know we can play better as a team. We know that we could have moved the ball more efficiently, and ultimately it just comes down to a team game. No one man can change the game by himself, and collectively if we don't play well as an offense, as a unit, then I think those are the outcomes that you get sometimes.
What do you say to 16 after, obviously a bit of a struggle, taking care of the ball, but also, again, knowing that those other factors, whether that was protection, whether that's the rain, that a lot of those factors also play.
What do I say to him?
Yeah, in terms of keeping his confidence high and, helping him out.
Bro, pick your head up, let's go. We got a whole 16, 20 games, whatever we got to play. He's good. I think one thing that I can really say about him is he's very poised. And he's already hard on himself. I don't think it's anyone's job to be harder on him. I think there's things like constructive criticism that you may offer, but usually when Trevor lets the ball go and it doesn't go where maybe he wants it to go, he knows. Or if he takes great ownership. Even if things are not his fault, he takes ownership. And that's a guy you want to play for. So I don't say a whole lot. He's a smart man. Last time I checked, I wasn't taking number 1 overall anywhere. So, I have a lot of confidence and trust and faith in him, and this whole team does. So he's not an easily shaken person.
What did you see out of the gentleman whose locker is next to yours, Jamal Agnew?
Nothing that I haven't seen for the past few months. In training camp, and I joke with him about him being a returner, but I know how special he is with the ball in his hands and his ability to come in and bring a spark for us, and not just a spark, but to sustain it. He's a proven guy in this league. He's played for a long time. He's done those same things at Detroit. Aggie, you got anything else that you want to? He's got decent hair.
Beautiful hair.
Yeah, good smile. But yeah. You know what Aggie does that I think is really, really cool? He's always rapping or singing a song, and even if the song's not being played, he continuously just says it over and over and over and over again. Am I lying?
Like in the locker room, or talking during the game?
In the locker room. Do you do it in the game?
Yeah.
Pre-game or actually during the game?
Pre-game.
Pre-game.
Pre-game, not like the other guy who doesn't talk, doesn't say anything.
Who, Chris?
Yeah, Chris says he doesn't talk or talk to anyone during pre-game.
Oh, pre-game?
Yeah.
No, Chris is
Chris is locked in.
Chris becomes a mute and is a very vicious stare, like a Denzel Washington training day stare. That's what I would compare it to.
Let's talk a little bit about the Texans.
Sure.
When it comes to a Lovie Smith defense, what is that? When we hear Lovie Smith defense, what is that?
I think proven guy. He knows what he's doing. This is a high effort, high speed, and what's the word? What's the word I want to use to describe it? They're like, I don't want to just say fly around, like a tenacious type group. I think they play collectively well together. When you turn on the tape, there's not a whole lot of guys that are lackadaisical or taking plays off. I've had experience of playing with Jerry Hughes in Buffalo. I've always thought very highly of him. I thought he was a phenomenal player. Jerry's had a motor, and so I know if that's a person they bring in who's a leader for them, I'm sure he, as well as Lovie, are instilling that in their D-line. I know Christian Kirksey, linebacker, I think he's a great player, works very hard. back in a little bit young, but those guys are still ballers as well. They're good players. So I don't really feel like their record displays the type of talent that they have. Sometimes teams get bad shakes and, games didn't fall their way. But I don't think this is a group that we can take very lightly at all. I feel as though they have the weapons to just do something special.
Let's talk about those two rookies on the back end, Stingley and then Petrie. He's jumped out of nowhere, and I think he's already got two picks in one game.
Yeah.
He crowds the box too. What do you see from those two guys on tape?
I think they're just playing very well, very confident. When young guys with a lot of talent are able to play at a confident, high level, because sometimes when you come into the league, maybe you're unsure or you don't have the playbook down. They don't look like that at all. They look to me. They know exactly where they need to be, how they need to be there, and what their job is. And it looks like they both know where their help is at as well. I think they play fundamentally sound within their system, and occasionally, like you just said, they're able to get their hands on the ball. So I got a lot of respect for them. I look forward to the matchup. I think that's the fun thing about the NFL is like every week you get a new opportunity to go against the best in some sort of fashion, whether it's speed or size or ability, scheme, whatever it is. And I feel like these guys have the youth, the speed, the effort, and the scheme. That's going to be just fun to compete against. And now I get to compete against them twice a year.